This hour by Frederick Remington, fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. Exclusive, no refrigeration, 10-year extended shelf life bacon. The thickest, meatiest, center-cut bacon in the industry at fullycookedbacon.com.
The stocks discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering on acting on information, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice.
What kingdom has sent you?
The kingdom of the Most High.
Nothing you have ever experienced can prepare you for the unbridled carnage you're about to witness. The Super Bowl, the World Series, they don't know what pressure is. In this building, it's either kill or be killed. You make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute, you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The Genesis Communication Network is proud to bring you Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week elf, Mark Leibovit, welcoming you on board his financial time machine. And here is the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, September 2nd, long Labor Day weekend, and very happy that you're able to join us. And welcome to what I call my financial, political, spiritual, and even musical time machine. Our shows are archived on iTunes, iHeartRadio, here at GCN, and many of you may remember me as being one of the 10 elves on the old Louis Rukeyser Wall Street Week TV program, or perhaps even as the market monitor guest with my old friend Paul Kangas on PBS's Nightly Business Report. We have a jam-packed show for you here today. Don Vialloux, Harry Boxer, Henry Weingarten, Kyle Bishop from RagingBull.com. My good friend Sinclair No will be with us in just a moment. Investors are entering the calendar's worst month for stocks and must decide whether August's indecision is a sign of worse things to come. 10% for the S&P and 11% for the Dow this year, and 19% for the NASDAQ. It's amazing. The three major indexes are already sitting at high gains for the year, which look impressive if held through December. And I guess anxiety over Hurricane Harvey, North Korea, the debt ceiling, even bulls may be wondering if it's worth hanging on. Meanwhile, let's turn over to our first guest this morning, Sinclair No. One of our good friends from KFNN 1510 Radio, I should say one of our good friends, Sinclair No, is back with us this Saturday morning on Wall Street Raw. He's also the author of the great blog, the incomparable blog, EatTheBankers.com, and we always enjoy having Sinclair on our program. Sinclair, thank you again for joining us on this actually long holiday weekend with the markets off on Monday.
That's right, long holiday weekend, Labor Day weekend.
Man, I can use it.
I think we all can. It's been a busy week, and of course, you know, everybody's been a little bit freaked out about that hurricane over in Houston, and we wish everybody over in the Texas area and parts north good luck with getting through the storm.
Yeah, we just had an interview with one of our other analysts, and he says despite the doom and gloom there, it's going to be very good for the U.S. economy, believe it or not. And he said,
I don't believe that. I do not believe that. I disagree.
Oh, okay.
I know what he's talking about. You've got probably close to 1 million vehicles that were flooded as a part of this storm. People are going to go out and they're going to buy new cars. That's one area. You're going to have construction activity. You're going to have all this taking place. So the GDP, the economy, is going to show a little bit of a bump in GDP at some point down the road because you're going to have to replace 1 million cars, right?
Yeah.
But guess what? You're replacing cars. You destroyed 1 million cars, and GDP does not measure that destruction. It only measures the new cars that are used to replace it. It doesn't really help the economy.
Okay.
That's my...
I know that's in the line we're hearing now from Wall Street, that this is going to be a big boom to the market because of the business generated on the repairs. So just interesting insight. Thank you for that.
Yeah, but you have to consider this is repair. This is not a new build. You're replacing, rebuilding something that's been destroyed. and what we're not measuring is that destruction that's taken place. And that destruction, it's going to take a long time to get past all that destruction.
So we did have a positive jobs report, and GDP is improving a little bit.
Yeah, the economy added 156,000 jobs in August. There were some revisions to June and July, knocking down 41,000 jobs from those 2 months. 156,000, a little bit less than expectations. The unemployment rate ticked up from 4.3% to 4.4%. That means more people were coming into the labor market. It wasn't a particularly good report. It was, I guess, tepid. There was nothing terrible about it. There certainly wasn't anything great about it. One of the really weak points, though, was that average hourly earnings rose 0.1%, and we're looking at a 2.5% year-over-year increase in wages. That's just slow. That's weak, particularly at this point in the recovery. I mean, we've got 83 months of job gains. That's the longest streak we've ever seen in this country. This is a pretty doggone good labor market in many, many ways, except for wages. Wages just have not been able to increase, and that means that most workers aren't really seeing a whole lot of gains from this. Now, they've got jobs, and that's great. That's better than not having jobs. Don't get me wrong. But it just makes it tough to get ahead. And it makes it feel as if the recovery is just, meh. You know what I mean?
Okay. So we had the Conference Board Consumer Index rise, too, and that seems to rise with the stock market anyway, but that was a positive.
It's a positive. That would indicate that we should see pretty good consumer spending moving forward, and we have seen pretty good consumer spending. Unfortunately, we've seen debt increase as well because the wages haven't been strong enough to support a big increase in spending. So what happens? People pull out the plastic when they go shopping. That is ultimately not the best thing in the world. And the funny thing about the confidence index, people feel like things are pretty good right now. I mean, really quite good, a very strong confidence index number right now, but we're pretty sure things are going to get worse in the future.
Okay. Well, the S&P Case-Shiller Index was up. Rising home prices is certainly helping build that confidence for investors.
The housing market has continued to be a fairly strong area of the economy. Most markets have moved back above the lows from the downturn. We've seen a steady increase, and we're running right in that 5.8%, 5.7, 5.8%, depending upon which index and Case-Shiller you're looking at. That's a good pace. That's a good pace for housing prices to be moving at. Not so much that it becomes unaffordable, although in some markets, real estate is always a local market. Some markets are unaffordable. But generally speaking, it's just nice, steady, solid rise. And yes, that does give a good feeling to people. I mean, a lot of people have their net worth in their home.
Sure.
Sure.
Sinclair, I hope to have you back later in the program, and we'll talk a little bit about how banks are behaving badly once again. So we're going to get back with Sinclair later. Sinclair No from KFNN 1510 Phoenix and author of the blog EatTheBankers.com. And we'll talk to you in a little bit. Sinclair, thank you for joining us.
Standing by. Thank you.
Boxer from the techtrader.com. So as you know, each week we try to jam-pack the show with some good trading ideas from those who are really good at doing it, and that's what we do here at Wall Street Raw Radio. Don't touch your dial. We'll be back right after the break.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
had purchased $100 of Bitcoin in 2010, today you'd have $2,600,000. While that sinks in, you now have a huge cryptocurrency opportunity at below market price at a guaranteed 10 cents per coin. ProCoin, a coin publicly traded on the open market, easily converted to cash, available in 60 countries, and ProCoin is the only cryptocurrency offering coin-back rewards for consumers and merchants. Take action by August 31st at ProCoinCurrency.net. That's ProCoinCurrency.net. Deadline for 10-cent guarantee is August 31st.
What's the scariest thing about going to the dentist? Opening your mouth or opening your wallet? Because just a simple cleaning can cost $100, and things like root canals can cost you hundreds more. If you don't have dental insurance to help, you should give Physicians Mutual Insurance Company a call. 1-800-496-1532. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps pay for checkups right away, so you can call today and get your teeth cleaned tomorrow. Plus, it helps cover the more expensive procedures you might need down the road. Fillings, crowns, bridges, even costly dentures. There's no deductible and no annual maximum. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired or on Medicare. There are no networks, so you can choose any dentist you'd like. That's right, any dentist you want. Call and we'll rush you a free information kit with all the details. 1-800-496-1532. That's 1-800-496-1532. 1-800-496-1532.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest price filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com, virtual care anywhere.
Are you happy washing your hands with harsh chemicals? Are you happy doing laundry with detergents? Are you happy paying high prices? Find your happiness with Pure Soap. These all-natural, earth-friendly Pure Soaps are the very best you've ever used. Buy in bulk. Get a 12, 36, or 48-month supply. Or get items individually and still save big. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now. Earth-friendly and natural soaps. Your family deserves the best. Happiness is 5starsoap.com. Why not put your money up the drain for a change? See them at 5starsoap.com or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog. Cal Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils. See their full selection of soaps at 5starsoap.com. That's F-I-V-E starsoap.com. Or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
You want to save money in a place that gives you growth, control, and certainty without stock market risk or tax risk, and you want guarantees and you want it all tax-free. That's a tall order. But you can get all of that with properly designed participating whole life insurance. Most people think life insurance pays after you're dead. That's true. But you can have tax-free access to use your life insurance while you're alive. Get the free book to find out how. Call 702-660-7000.
Think positive. Never show any sign of weakness. Always go for the throat. Buy low, sell high. Fear, that's the other guy's problem.
Welcome back to the Wall Street Raw Radio Show with Mark Leibovit, your time machine for the financial markets. Want to know more? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Now, here's the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Welcoming our good friend and always special guest, Harry Boxer from the TechTrader.com. Harry, as you may recall, authors and runs a live trading room featuring his trade alerts and technical market analysis. He's almost a 50-year veteran of technical analysis and stock picker, and he's author of the great book Profitable Day in Swing Trading, which was named by Stock Traders Almanac in 2015 as the best investment book of the year. Harry, it's been an exciting week in the markets, and talk about the market climbing a wall of worry. We're certainly seeing it into new highs here. Unbelievable.
Well, to me, it is believable because every single client that I talked to that was a hedge fund was, basically saying we're going to hell in a handbasket. The market looks lower, everybody's panicking, raising cash, and of course the market goes up. So we shall see. But right now it's a little overbought short term. We've been up every day since Tuesday, and we're getting to a point where we are at key resistance. So if you look at the NASDAQ 100 near 6,000 and the S&P 500 near 2480, this is key resistance up here. So if we get through, this could be even the mother of all short squeezes more. We could see much more upside. A lot of stocks that I look at, a lot of individual chart patterns just look outstanding, especially the biotech group. That is really leading the way here. And the semiconductors came back too. So when you have biotech, semiconductors, and even some financials doing well, those are the three groups for me that are going to lead this market higher, particularly biotech. I mean, it's phenomenal what's going on there, including that takeover earlier in the week on Kite, which was a swing trade of mine, and my people made over 100% in it.
Yeah, got bought out by Gilead. Unbelievable.
Right.
Big move. Gilead looks great, too. So
and now we have Bluebird flying. It's up 132, up 7.5, and it was just 102 earlier in the week, so it's up 30 points, up 30% just this week.
So would you say the biotechs are still your favorite sector?
Absolutely. ABEO, great little looking chart. I just updated my swing on it. Take a look at it. Pattern on ABEO. It's going literally vertical from the 7-8 range just a week and a half ago. Today it hit 14 or near it. It's a stock that I think could be 17.5 and 20. Baker Brothers and George Soros both filed, 13 Ds on this. This is an impressive looking pattern with a good story. If you look at the base, breakout, pull back, and retest, we're only in wave 3. This thing could have a fourth wave pullback entry opportunity and then a move up into the 1820 zone. That's my target.
We have about 30 seconds, Harry. The gold stock's really moving here.
I love it.
Getting a breakout.
Yeah, my favorite is Newmont NEM. I put out a swing on this one just recently. I think it's coming out of a major base, targeting 42, 46, and then 50. And my little one, USAU, I think is the sleeper of the year. I really think this is a double or triple. At some point, you're going to see 4.5 and 6 on the stock, trading at 246 right now. That's a real U.S. Gold is called it, yeah, and no one knows about it because it was a private company that did a reverse merger with DRAM, and now it's publicly held.
Thank you, Harry.
Yep.
Harry Boxer. Harry Boxer from the Tech Trader. Have a good long weekend, Harry. We can use the extra day. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Talk to you next week. Welcome back our very special guest, Kyle Dennis, who is the Chief Biotech Strategist for RagingBull.com. Kyle's an independent equities trader focused on covering undervalued stocks in the market, and he obviously focuses on the biotech sector. Some terrific calls here in recent weeks, and really appreciate having him back on the show. Kyle, thank you again.
Glad to be back.
Well, I noticed the biotech index continues to do well. I know you were looking for that support around that 300 level, and it's up again on Friday, so we seem to have hit an intermediate bottom of some kind.
Yeah, we got a real nice bounce off 300, and the stocks that we were taking a look at, the NKTR, EIGR, FOLD, and way back in the day, GILD, all are performing very, very well, so I couldn't really be happier.
Would you be advising just a long position in the biotech indexes for conservative investors here, or more focusing on the individual names?
I always focus on the individual names and kind of use the ETF as a guide for me of when to be buying and when to be selling in the short term, because I like to play catalyst events. So I'm more monitoring the indices as a whole to see kind of where we're at.
There's one particular biotech stock you said you were avoiding, VSTM. Let's talk a little bit about that. Veristem.
Yeah, that's a small little cancer company. They have a cancer drug, and they will be releasing some data here, they said, in the late summer. So that's phase 3 data, which is coming up. Now, in anticipation of that, it was a great catalyst play. It ran from about $1.50 up to above $4. So I feel like the risk to reward here is baked in, and the chances of producing positive cancer results is slim to none. So this is something with data coming up soon that I'm really not looking to be involved with data so close.
I think the most spectacular call you've made, because I look at some of the big names, as many of our listeners, is Gilead. And you mentioned that a moment ago. I mean, this thing has taken off from the mid-60s to the mid-80s, now around 83, 84 area. And you had mentioned this thing had potential to 100. You still feel that way about it?
I still do. And they've had a positive earnings call, which helped. And then, like we talked about way back on your show a few months ago, we were looking for them to buy a company. And they just did that the other day. They bought Kite, KITE is the symbol there, so that's had a positive reaction on the stock, and I think as they start buying more companies and ramping things up, we'll breach that $100 a share probably before the end of the year, I would think.
Great. Do you think they're going to make another acquisition?
I think they will. They have a ton of cash, and the investors really like when they go out and spend that cash to develop their pipeline and make their pipeline grow, even though they have their current stuff, which is making them a ton of money. Investors are always forward looking, so they're looking for those acquisitions going forward.
Great, Kyle. That was a really great call. Kyle Dennis from RagingBull.com. Nice for you to take time again for us on the Saturday morning. We'll speak to you next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle, and thank you, Harry, as well, for joining the show this morning. You know, investors have a bit of a concern here coming up, as September historically a rough month for U.S. stocks, with equities on average losing about 1%. Data compiled by the S&P Global analysts show this. Traders are taking precautions. Put contracts on the largest S&P 500 index outnumbered 2-to-1 here. So coming into the weekend into new highs, maybe just the opposite will happen in September. But let's see if we get any reversal here coming early next week. But it's an interesting time of year as the market seems to be climbing that wall of worry, particularly with the hurricane story this past week, and North Korea shooting that missile over Japan. So there's no question the market is climbing that old wall of worry. We have Sinclair out in the wings here, ready to join us here on segment 3. So don't touch your dial, and afterwards we're going to hear from our good friend Don VIALOUX and Henry Weingarten later in the show, our regular guest as well. Stay tuned. Don't touch your dial. Listen to Wall Street Raw on the Genesis Network.
Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at WallStreetRaw.com. At WallStreetRaw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market crash. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to WallStreetRaw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at WallStreetRaw.com. That's WallStreetRaw.com.
Message and data rates may apply. Oh my gosh, that's Frank Thomas. No. Yes, that's him. Go ahead. Excuse me, are you Frank Thomas?
Yes, I am.
I bet you get recognized a lot.
I was a pretty good ball player.
You were?
Some people thought so.
Sorry, we recognize you from those Nugenix commercials.
Oh, yeah? That's great.
So does Nugenix really work?
Oh, yeah. I really can feel the difference. My workouts are better, and I feel a lot more energetic.
I wish my husband would use Nugenix.
It's so easy to get started. All you have to do is send one simple text.
Text the word PRIME44 to 42424 for a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenix, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Its unique man-boosting formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help a man feel stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more passionate.
And you're going to like the difference, too.
Text PRIME44 to 42424 for a complimentary bottle of Nugenix. Samples are not available in stores. Text PRIME44 to 42424.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-765-9681 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-765-9681. Again, that's 800-765-9681.
Anything that is thy neighbor.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. Want to know more about Wall Street Raw and the Leibovit VR newsletters? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com.
Welcome back, our good friend, KFNN star and blogger Sinclair No. We always enjoy having him on our show, and he does produce the great blog EatTheBankers.com, but he's also financial commentator at KFNN for many years and a real expert on the financial markets, but particularly strong with regard to what's going on in the banking industry. And we have an interesting segment we try to do here as often as we can, banks behaving badly, and we certainly have.
Banks behaving badly.
Thank you, Sinclair. Yeah, we got to definitely do a little audio piece for that one, maybe with some music. That would be cool. But meanwhile, before we jump into that, and I think we're going to be focusing in on Wells Fargo. Warren Buffett had a little bit of action this past week. He's the largest shareholder, apparently, in Bank of America, and he was exercising his right to acquire 700 million shares at a steep discount. So obviously, he likes banks.
Well, yeah, he's already been involved in Wells Fargo for some time. He's upped his role in Bank of America. He's right at that 10% level on both. or very close to it. Once he tops that, he has to have special reporting, so I think he tries to keep it below that level. Buffett's position in Bank of America really goes back a few years when he essentially bailed out Bank of America. He bought some preferred shares, collected a nice dividend off of them, ended up putting about $5 billion, as I recall, into it, and essentially he cashed out and went to the regular shares, pulling down about $11 billion in profit along the way. Not a bad trade. And Buffett likes this. I mean, Buffett likes to go in when there is blood in the streets. And there was an interview with Buffett this week where he said back in 2008, the financial crisis, he said that was like shooting fish in a barrel. Right now, he says, though, the bargains are harder to find. And I think we've seen that. Cash is piling up at Berkshire Hathaway. They have about I think it's close to around $100 billion in cash just sitting on the books waiting to do something.
Okay, well, he's good at finding those bargains, so it makes sense after a big rally here in recent years. As you say, the bargains are a little more difficult to find, but if we get a little market shakeout, maybe that'll change. Yeah, but, it's really kind of interesting how the market this past week with the hurricanes and everything going on, markets just have been moving higher and higher this past week. Well, let's talk a little bit about the bogus bank account scandal at Wells Fargo. Seems to be getting a lot worse than originally known, and we keep saying this each week, but it continues to pyramid. It's amazing. We knew something was coming up. Wells Fargo had warned us that there was more bad news that was going to be coming out. A couple of weeks ago they said this. And sure enough, the bogus bank account scandal, which originally they figured it was 2.1 million bogus accounts, unauthorized accounts created by employees to try and meet the sales quotas that were imposed on them. We figured that was about 2.1 million accounts. Nope, 3.5 million accounts. And another 500,000 or so unauthorized online bill pay enrollments. They just put people wherever they want to put them. They don't even ask. I mean, we got a bill pay thing over here. Let's put those people in there. Let's open up all these accounts for people, even though they don't want the accounts. And even though it ended up costing a lot of people a lot of money. Now, this is just an ongoing situation with Wells Fargo. We've seen the bank insiders blame the scandal on the high-pressure sales culture. There were congressional hearings. The CEO quit. They've had dozens of investigations. We've seen other scandals, the unauthorized auto insurance policies on, I think it was over 800,000 customers. They just made them take auto insurance, even if they already had auto insurance somewhere else, when they had an auto loan through Wells. There's sexual harassment claims. There's wrongful termination claims. There was retaliation against the whistleblowers involved in the unauthorized accounts. Excessive charges on various fees. That one's been going on for about 10 years, and they still haven't figured out how to do right by their customers on that. So the report, not unexpected, just another black eye for Wells Fargo, which seems to be an organization that just thinks they can do whatever they want to do. They don't have to follow the law. They're Wells Fargo. And I tell you what, there's a few other things. The SEC should really be digging into this. They were lying to shareholders as well as clients of the bank. They misrepresented the value of the shares by misrepresenting the accounts that they claim to have opened. How this is not stock fraud is absolutely beyond my imagination. This is stock fraud. This is just criminal activity, and it's criminal activity on top of criminal activity on top of more and more and more criminal activity. Why in the world somebody doesn't put these people in jail or at least revoke their corporate charter? I mean, the mafia looks like good guys next to these people.
It's ridiculous.
Sinclair, it's obvious
everybody else goes to jail, but the banksters walk.
Sinclair, it's obvious you're not going to go out and buy the stock.
No, I'm not. You know, it would have been much simpler if we just talked about Wells Fargo's good deeds. Are you ready? Well, there it was.
Sinclair, no. Not too excited about Wells Fargo, but it's really a great story, and thank you for bringing it to our listeners' attention. Sinclair No from KFN and 1510 Phoenix, and author of the incomparable blog, EatTheBankers.com. Speak to you next week, Sinclair, and we'll get an update on Wells at that time, I'm sure.
I'm going to go meditate for a while.
Okay. Calm down. Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful segment, and we've been following the show here for a number of weeks. We've been talking about Wells, and you might think we're picking on them, but this is constant news coming out. And, you know, Sinclair has this great blog, EatTheBankers.com, and it's just unfortunate that this is the story with the banking industry. There's so many scandals, and it drills down to manipulation of markets and suppression of the gold and silver markets, and the banks are just involved in all kinds of good deeds. But, you know, the average person just doesn't pay attention to it, and they assume, well, this is just the way banks or Wall Street does business. And obviously we've seen many scandals over the years. So, and then when they see the markets into new highs, you know, if the markets were diving into new lows and people were losing jobs, then I think they pay more attention to these stories. So a little bit of a cover-up here in the sense that markets are doing well and people tend to ignore all the bad news. But we really appreciate Sinclair bringing this to our attention when we do see these stories. And it is only Wells Fargo. We've covered dozens of other banks on the show here in the last 3 years. So stay tuned to this segment, and we'll do our best to bring that to your attention. So coming up, we have our good friend Don VIALOUX and Henry Weingarten. So stay with us here on Wall Street Raw.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
I'm now convinced more than ever that we're just one major headline away from the next market crisis. Guess what? A new timeline report that I just read says that I happen to be right. Something big is getting ready to happen, just like it does at least once a decade over the last 100 years. An energy crisis in 79, an S&L crisis in 89, and the last two I warned you about, remember? The dot-com bust in 99 and the subprime crisis in 09. What's next? I want you to call for a free copy of Swiss America's new timeline report.
Thanks, Michael. Call toll-free 888-732-7164. That's 888-732-7164.
I've told you often, those who don't learn from history are destined to repeat it. Take action. It's no longer a question of if it's going to happen. It's just a question of when it's going to happen.
Call toll-free 888-732-7164. That's 888-732-7164.
It's been said, any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years from My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's mypillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
There is no freedom without the law.
Get it? Got it? Good.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw and the final segment with Mark Leibovit. Now, here's the elf himself.
Welcome back, my good friend and always special guest on Wall Street Raw, Don VIALOUX, who's the past president of the Canadian Society of Technical Analysts. He was also an advisor to the Horizon Seasonal Rotation ETF between 2009 and 2015. And more importantly, he edits and publishes two great websites. One is timingthemarket.ca and the other is equityclock.com. Good morning, Don. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me back there, Mark.
Okay, so as we all know, Don brings us up to speed a little bit what's going up north of the border, and there was some surprising news on Canada's economy this past week.
Yeah, Canada's economy was amazing in the second quarter, up 4.5% on an annualized basis. That's the strongest growth of any of the G7 nations. Now, that's good news and bad news. The good news is that we've got growth. The bad news is the Bank of Canada is concerned that growth is too much. So next Wednesday, the Bank of Canada is expected to increase its overnight lending rate by another 0.25% to 1%.
Catching up a little bit with the Fed, I suppose.
Yes, looks like they're trying to calm the growth down a little bit. Probably going to be closer to 3% in the third quarter, but just too much.
Well, we're entering September now, Don, so should we be watching out? Is the sky going to fall, or what's happening here? We're in a treacherous time of year.
Well, historically, September has been the weakest month in the year for North American equity markets. On average, during the past 20 Septembers, the TSE composite has dropped 1.5% per period, and the S&P 500 index has declined 0.7% per period. What about this year? Well, markets are overbought right now in both Canada and the United States, and the chances of a correction of that amount, 1.5% for TSE and 0.7% for U.S., pretty good chance that that's what's going to happen once again.
Meanwhile, gold continues to move higher.
Yeah, nice breakout in gold above the $1,300 level. Now, September historically has been the best month for gold prices. Historically, they've gone up an average of 2.8% per period for the last 20 periods. Next technical target for gold is $1,390 per ounce.
Boy, that's going to make the gold bugs happy, taking out last year's high. Okay. Yes,
that would be nice. The momentum is definitely there. We're seeing weakness in the U.S. dollar, and that's helping contribute to strength in gold prices.
Great, Don. Thank you for the great summary as we do each week. That's Don Vialo from EquityClock.com and TimingTheMarket.ca, and we'll look forward to seeing you and speaking with you next week. Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Mark.
Welcome back, my good friend and always special guest on Wall Street Raw, Henry Weingarten. Welcome back, my good friend and always special guest on Wall Street Raw, Don Vialo, who's the past. Welcome back, my good friend and always special guest on Wall Street Raw, Henry Weingarten from the Astrologers Fund. Henry's been doing this for nearly 50 years, and in addition to using fundamental and technical analysis, he employs astrology as the primary tool to oversee investment funds. Terrific calls over the months and years, and we love having him on the show. Henry, thank you for coming back this Saturday morning.
Sure, absolutely. You may remember that we said Tuesday would be a rather interesting day, and it was. Markets were down nicely. Although they came back the same day, we didn't expect that until later in the week because obviously with holidays, markets like to be up. Anyway, I have 5 points I'd like to make. The first is we had recommended to sell at the beginning of August and go away. And if you did, you'd be absolutely nowhere in the markets. Didn't go up, didn't go down. Now, that sell does not really end for another 2 weeks at least. So that's number one. Number two, the press isn't talking about this, but, Hurricane Harvey is good for business. Just like 911 was very good for business. Nobody wanted to talk about that for a while. You have 500,000 cars that are damaged, et cetera. Also, the infrastructure that can be done. So this actually is a big positive for the U.S. markets. We've already seen the plus 3% we were expecting, and you'll see a lot more of it. Harvey will be part of the reason. So I don't think that's being dealt with as much as it should. The next thing, and my point number 3, is, the situation with North Korea is not over. Obviously, it wasn't going to be dealt with this week because nobody likes to spoil vacations. In fact, there are even rumors that the markets may be closed on Monday. So, you have to be careful. Make sure you've raised some cash. Make sure you've hedged a bit. That's a joke, by the way. Anyway, and the other 2 points are we're glad to see gold centering around the 1325 number, and more analysts are seeing 1400 either this year or next year. So I think that's sort of a foregone conclusion. There'll be a $1,400 test. And the other point is oil, and we said oil would start going up fourth quarter, and I think you'll be seeing that. So those are the 5 major things.
Starting to improve now a little bit. Some of the oil stocks are upticking.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so Labor Day is Monday. As you know, markets close, and we're entering what some say is the most treacherous month of the year, and you think there's at least 2 weeks left before.
At least 2 weeks. You could argue it through October, but certainly for the first 2 weeks to 17 days, you want to be still hedged, and whether the market's up higher or not, you're not ready. You shouldn't be ready to jump in yet. Okay. Except for special situations, of course.
Right, there's always trades out there. Thank you, Henry, for joining us. Henry Weingarten from the Astrologers Fund. If you want more information, go to I guess the best link is afund.com, but Henry is available at the Astrologers Fund. You can search for that on the Internet. Thank you again, and we'll have you back next week. Thank you. Thank you, Henry, and thank you, Harry, and thank you, Don and Kyle, all for joining us on the show today, and of course, Sinclair No for those 2 great segments. Interesting technical pattern underway here for those of you who are charting the markets. Hasn't been really business as usual, but for the index, the S&P that is, to deviate from a technical level known as the 50-day moving averages, really taking on some historic dimensions here. For 17 straight days, the gauge has been fluctuating within 1% of that level, tying the longest streak since 1995. While it's really not front-page news, this phenomenon, for what it shows about investor psychology, so mostly absent from August was this mechanical upward March that sent equities to 30 record closes this year. In its place was a more typical back-and-forth market, and now we've entered this historically treacherous September time frame. But speaking of markets, we really haven't gone over some of the major moves, and one of the most interesting moves this past week and recent weeks, of course, has been the move in Bitcoin, which actually surged in the last 24 hours, up over $5,000 a coin, reaching $5,013, and then sold off sharply into at least into Saturday today, down to about $4,500 a coin. We've been talking about this since it's been a couple $100 a coin here in the last few months, and we've got hundreds of cryptocurrencies out there. So a lot of volatility in this market, and technically, I'm a buyer way under the market, and if you follow vrtrader.com, you will see those recommendations. Looking at the other markets here, bonds have been frustrating the bond bears because it's continued to move higher as if it's anticipating something negative in the stock market. Maybe that's what it's all about, and if we don't get it, bonds are surely going to come off here. But the Fed may not be raising rates here in coming weeks because of what happened with the hurricane and so forth. So interesting development there. And, of course, we can't complain about gold, reaching $1329.50 intraday on Friday. Still well off the summer highs from 2016 up there at $1375, but we're still looking, as Don just said on that interview, for a push to new highs. He talked about $1390. I was thinking perhaps even $1400 here in the months ahead. And silver still has that shot into the 20s. So a lot of potential here still in that in the gold and silver market. And if you haven't been paying attention to palladium, which has been the best performing metal here in recent months, getting up to $984 intraday on Friday, and it looked like it was headed well over 1,000. So maybe it's catalytic converters. We don't know the exact technical reason, fundamental reason for it, but it's really, really fascinating what's going on with the palladium market. Meanwhile, as we do each week, we close our show as we do, as Ed Hart used to do on the old Financial News Network back in the 1980s and 1990s. As he said, as we say, we will know in the fullness of time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for listening to Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week Elf, Mark Leibovit. If you missed any of today's show or to get in touch with Mark, please go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Any stocks or investment discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. We first recommend you seek out a licensed financial professional for advice. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week Elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. Here, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market tsunami. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required, and no one will call. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw report and Gold News Raw report at wallstreetraw.com.
Anytime, any place, anywhere, radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest price filtration systems in every size for incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency. Get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.